This is the Heroes Podcast. I'm back again with another episode, and I've got here Joe Nicassio from North America. How are you, Joe?
I am too blessed to be stressed. I'm good.
Nice
I'm
one.
great and grateful.
Thanks for joining. Before we go on, I wanted to introduce you so everyone knows who we are having on the show. Joe is more than a coach, more than a mentor. People hire Joe because they trust his expertise, advice, and savvy problem-solving skills. He has advised over 4,000 business owners to help them grow their existing businesses, and he has mentored several hundreds of people to help them create new businesses from scratch. Guys, if you want business, stay on. And if you want to take it to the next level, stay on. So Joe is on a mission to help thousands of people become more self-reliant through entrepreneurship instead of being employed reliant. That's a question mark there. Government reliant, charity reliant, family reliant, or spouse reliant. Joe is brown belt in karate. He enjoys traveling. He spent over 4 years being a digital nomad, living the laptop lifestyle. Wow, thanks for coming on the show. Do you want to tell us how has it started for you? Do you want to take us back to the beginning of maybe when you have not been one of the most successful coaches in North America?
Sure. As a kid, I was into electronics. I love playing with electronics. Electrical engineer path. Uh, um, did all kinds of things in technology, and I worked my butt off and made a bunch of money, and then I lost everything. And so Bill Gates has a quote. He says that success is a bad teacher because it makes smart people think that they're smarter than they really are. And I thought I knew a lot. I knew a lot about electronics and troubleshooting and those kinds of things. But truth is I was missing a lot of pieces in the business. I kind of sucked at business at first. Okay. And I made over $1 million through just hard work. But when I fell hard, and I kind of had a minus $250,000 net worth. And I didn't file bankruptcy. I paid people back. It took me about 17 years to really kind of recover and get to zero. It's like, I remember one of my friends, he said, Joe, we've finally hit rock bottom and we've climbed a long way to get here. And so I got to tell you, those were painful years. I went through depression. I went through negative self-talk. I beat myself up. One of the things I learned is that depression is anger turned inward. And we can't talk mean to ourselves. We got to learn to talk nice to ourselves, because the world's mean enough as it is. We don't need to be mean to ourselves. Uh, One of the lessons I've learned is that um, none of us had the perfect, ideal, loving parents. None of us had perfect parents. And so one of the lessons I learned is we need to be the perfect, ideal, loving parent to ourselves that we never had. If we can't learn to love ourselves, and I went through depression. I went through the Department of Mental Health and say, I'm depressed. I feel like killing myself. I went through those really dark times. And so, I want to let people know, if you're going through a dark time, first of all, I understand, and I want to let you know there is light at the end of the tunnel. It took me a long time to get out of that tunnel, but there is help available. I think pretty much every major government in the world does have some kind of mental health facilities, and usually the government wants to make sure people on the street are mentally healthy. And so if you're not mentally healthy, get help, because it's available. There are government programs that will pay for this free. You got to take the initiative and walk to the Department of Mental Health and say, I need help. But somewhere in your community, there are loving, caring professionals that will guide you and help you. And so they put me on antidepressant medications, which helped. They gave me counseling, and it helped. And I think it helped about 95% of my depression. But I still was carrying around some depression. And several years later, I met some missionaries in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I got baptized. And after I got baptized, something really phenomenal happened. That other 5% of depression cleared up. And so I think there's a mental health part. There's the negative self-talk is definitely a therapy thing. And then there's the chemical part, which the antidepressants help. But I think that part of my depression was also spiritual. I needed some spiritual healing, and baptism actually helped really. I feel a lot better now, and life goes on. And if you here's what I know is, no matter what you're going through, if you work really, 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 really hard for a long, 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 long time, tomorrow can be better than today.
Wow, that's deep. And what would you say was missing from that business that sort of went into bankruptcy, or what were the mistakes that you have not been get away with?
Well, there were several factors. First of all, there were things I just didn't know. I didn't study business. I studied technology. And so I really, most of the marketing I was doing was guesswork. It wasn't framework, and it wasn't systematic. I didn't know what I was doing back then. Fortunately, later I got mentored by Jay Abraham, who's the $30 billion man, and I got to spend 7 years learning from a master. But I didn't have that back then. The other thing that was, so that, first of all, I mean, there are other things. There were people that were unethical. Uh, it was technology. So hot technology one day was cold technology the next day. And I didn't pick up all the signs. I thought I was, selling something that be around for a while. And, it was hot today, and boom, it wasn't so hot. And I kept pumping money into a dead horse. So, there's a lot of factors, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I have to take responsibility. I didn't know as much as I did. I made some mistakes. Maybe I was prideful, arrogant. Maybe, I thought I thought I knew what I was doing, and I did know what I was doing in some areas, but other areas I was clueless, and so there was a lot of factors. Sometimes things happen for all the right reasons, and sometimes they happen for all the wrong reasons. And
And Joe,
I've actually
uh,
got a story about that.
yeah, go ahead,
You want
please.
So, before I had that technology break, um, before I had that technology business failure, several years before that, I was working for a computer company, and I was selling Apple Macintosh computers way before they had Apple stores. And I was a top sales guy. I was really good. I was beating my quotas, and I had customers who loved me, and was doing really well. And there was a day, it was a Friday, I believe, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The manager of the store was on vacation. So this other guy running the store, his name was Gary, and I got a call that my father had a heart attack, and he was in the hospital, and it was about an hour, over an hour drive away. And I asked Gary, can I, go and see my father? He says, no, you have to work your shift because we're shorthanded, and you got to stay here until 7 o'clock, which was kind of sad. But I worked my shift, and at 7 o'clock, I said, Gary, my dad's in the hospital. May I have permission to go now? And he said, yes, go. So I left, spent the weekend with my father, came back on Monday. The manager came back in the store, and she called me into her office. And she says, where were you on Friday? And I, told her about my father. And I'm like, why? It was like a kind of a interrogation. And I go, why? And she said, after you left the store, some men came into the store with masks on and weapons, and they locked Gary in the back room and they took all the computers. And I was like, this is terrible. I had nothing to do with it. And she said, okay, go back to your job, and I was there for 3 or 4 more weeks. And, later they called me back into her office and said, we have to terminate your employment. And I said, why? I said, remember the robbery? I said, I had nothing. I didn't steal any computers. I had nothing to do with that. And they said, we know, but the truth is the insurance company, says they will not pay the claim until we do something to take responsibility
Oh,
for the robbery. And they said, I broke a company policy. By the way, I was never educated in this company policy, but you need to have 2 people in the store at lockup. And you weren't there. I'm like, I had permission to leave. And I didn't know that. And I was devastated. And I thought, do I have any rights as an employee? And I talked to an attorney, and he's like, nobody has rights. You don't have an employment contract. Like almost nobody has an employment contract. They can hire you for any reason and they can fire you for any reasons. And one of the and so they said, the attorney said you can write a letter and ask for your job back. And I did, and they would not give it to me back. But they fired me so they could get the insurance money. And one of the lessons I learned is sometimes you get hired for all the right reasons. Sometimes you get hired for all the wrong reasons. Sometimes you get fired for all the right reasons. And sometimes you get fired for all the wrong reasons. And I was pissed off. Okay. I was pissed off because I got fired for the wrong reasons. I was a good employee. I was good sales. I had happy customers. And, kind of bringing, but that day was one of those days that kind of turns your life around. And I made a decision that never, ever, ever again am I going to be an employee. And that's the day I decided I was going to figure out this entrepreneur thing. I was going to have my own business. Okay. And I was going to make it. And so I hustled, and, that kind of brings you back to the first story about losing the money. So I built up a business, I made money, but then I lost it. And so sometimes you fail in business for the right reasons, and sometimes you fail for the wrong reasons. You can't control all the factors. But I do believe this. I don't believe business needs to be risky. I believe that success is inevitable if you do everything right. The problem is most of us never learn everything that needs to be done right. And that's very much driven to shape the work that I do today, is to create somewhat of a system to help teach people how to create a business that works consistently.
would you say, Joe, that unawareness or lack of awareness is probably the biggest killer of business out there? Because people,
It's the biggest what?
like the killer, like it basically messes people's business results because they are either unaware or they assume something that they think is right about business or the systems or however they run their business, and then finding out is probably failure, or at times the worst case scenario with businesses. What is the biggest problem in businesses today?
Yeah, I think, most people don't know what they don't know. I think that unawareness is definitely a problem. I actually have a quote here I pulled up. It's one of my favorite business quotes. It's a little bit long, but it's from Michael Gerber, who wrote the E-Myth. Let me share this with you because it's good. What does the successful business person know that the unsuccessful business person doesn't? The answer is lots, but in my view, that's not why he or she is successful. My experience has proven to me that despite common beliefs, the people who succeed in business don't do so because of what they know, but because of their insatiable need to know more. Conversely, the problem with most failing businesses I've encountered is not that the owners don't know enough about finance or marketing or operations. They don't. But those things are easy enough to learn. Here's the problem, okay, to answer your question. The problem is they think they know enough, and so they spend their time defending what they know rather than discovering what they don't know. You're
Yeah.
right. It's a lack of awareness. But even worse than that is the pride that I know enough, and I'm going to defend what I know rather than, there's all these invisible things that I don't know. They don't go on the journey of discovery to discover what they don't know. And that's why mentorship is so damn important, because there are people that have seen the highs and the lows, and they can help you navigate the territory better.
Wow, that's very profound. And if you're listening to us now, you want to look into the mirror. Are you the lone wolf? It is the best way to go in the slow lane. Probably business, I believe, is a teamwork. So you better have the best team if you want to go fast and go easy. And even then, you will need to make sure that you apply the best practices. So what would you say, and I've taken some notes here, that mentorship, you said making a decision, looking after your mental health, keep on trying. What were the top, let's say, factors, contributing factors for you to turn around that, the bankruptcy, or reset your life?
Well, the losing everything was painful. A lot of people say failure is okay. You learn from failure, but big failure can be really painful. The class yell, there's this school of hard knocks. The class yell for the school of hard knocks is ouch, ouch, but I think when you fail big, I think there's a little hopelessness, but you got to retain some key of hope. And I think I was, I knew that I was in a bad situation. And one of the things is I had this thing like, once you failed big, you get to a place where you kind of say to yourself, I never, ever, ever, ever want to fail like this again. Ever, never, ever. Okay. And you start, what happened for me is I got obsessed with learning the truth about business reality. I think, for me, for many years, I was driven by the money. And, after you failed, for me, it's like, it's kind of like, screw the money. I want to know the truth of what works. I'm more in, what works and what doesn't work. One of my speeches, my talks I give now is almost everything you've learned about business is a big fat lie. Okay. And so I got obsessed with learning the truth. I got obsessed, and I got surrounded by Jay Abraham, and I transcribed like 30 years of marketing think tank notes, and helped put together the Jay Abraham Marketing Encyclopedia. But I was obsessed. Okay. What is obsession? It's a burning maniacal rage as if your life depended on it. Okay. I got obsessed with learning the truth so I would never, go down this failure path again. And so that obsession, that hunger, that ravenous desire to get to the truth. And how many books did I read? As many as I needed. How many audios did I listen to? As many as I needed to. How many workshops did I attend? As many as I could. How many people could I learn from? You get to a place where it's like you start learning from some people and you start realizing this is bullshit. Okay. Some people are treating the truth, selling the truth, but some people are they're packaging up their, there was a comedian, John Stewart, he says, call it polishing the turd. They package something up. It's garbage, but they package it up and sell it. And it ain't the real stuff. And so at some point, you get this discernment, like, is this the gold and the real stuff, or is this somebody polishing the turd? Okay. And you start realizing I'm not just going to sit through seminars and lectures anymore. I'm going to find out who the real people are. Who are the top thinkers? I don't want to learn from the bottom thinkers. I want to learn from the guys that are above, and the thought leaders, the sages, the wise guru at the top of the mountain. And so don't just get mentors, okay? Choose your mentors wisely. Don't waste your time with false mentors, man. That's a path of wasted time.
That's very insightful. I believe that if you are serious about your business and you're listening to this podcast, well, I always have this wonderful example. If you have a legal problem, would you go and see your dentist? Well, you really want to look at the results that your mentor, whoever you're looking to work with or pay for, whether it's a coach or mentor, to actually demonstrate the results. So they have done that, been there, done that. So they could show you the way and minimize the potholes that you could fall into.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add here?
No, I just, I hear people, they're selling a program, blogging for millions. You know what? You could write blogs all day, but it's not a fast path to making millions of dollars. Okay. It's, if you want to succeed, there's kind of 5 things. You need to know what to do. You need to know how to do it. You need to have the resources, you need the feedback, and you need the accountability. But the first thing is okay, what I know I need to market my business. Which marketing method do I choose? Well, there's a lot of choices. And so even that first, if you choose the wrong method in the first place, you're going to get sometimes you get a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the results that you could get by just choosing a different method. So it's just, I think one of the great stories is the story of Solomon in the scriptures. He was going to be the king, and he had a dream, and he talked to God, and God said, "What do you want?" And Solomon could ask for gold or women or power, and Solomon didn't ask for any of those things. He asked for discernment and wisdom in how to rule the people. And God was so pleased with his answer, he blessed Solomon with everything. And so I think instead of chasing the gold or the money, or, I think the most wise thing you can pursue or chase after is the wisdom itself. If you have wisdom, if you seek wisdom in all things, then God will bless you with all things. And so don't make your decisions based on how much money can I make. Life is deeper than that. And wisdom is something that it's the ability to make the best decisions possible. And we want to make good decisions. And if you could have one core value or something to strive for, I think wisdom should be at the top of that list.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So how did you unlock? Because there are a lot of people out there who want to have the laptop lifestyle, to have no location, any location, traveling around and work. Where have you been moving around? What was it for you to be a digital nomad? What has it given you?
Well, okay, there's 2 questions there. How do you do that? And what has it given me? Business, I think, if you make 10 grand a month, you can live anywhere on the planet you want. Okay. And one of the things beautiful today, we're on a Zoom call. I'm in Texas right now, and you're in did you say France or
Central Europe, Budapest.
you're in Europe? You're in Budapest.
Yeah.
You know, I can serve you and you can serve me through Zoom. Okay. And I'm really good at what I do. You know, the key to making money, you want to hear this one?
Yes, tell
The
us,
key to
tell us.
making money, the key to making money, money comes to those who create value for others. Money comes to those who improve the conditions of other people. Now, if I can be a massive contribution to your wealth, you might say, okay, my wealth sucks now, and I'm willing to pay for somebody to mentor me in that. You know, if I could be a massive contribution to growing your business, that might be valuable to you. If say you have relationship problems, if I could be a massive contribution to helping you have healthy, beautiful relationship with your partner, that might be valuable to you. So, you know, the most selfish thing you can do, like I want to make money, that's selfish. But the most selfish thing you can do is be selfless, to be a massive contribution, to be a giver. Because if I can rock your world and if I can make your world massively or significantly better, you might look at that and say, wow, that's valuable. You know what? I'll pay you money for that. And you know, does it really matter where I'm at or you're at? If I can give you what you need to make your life better and you say that's valuable, I'll pay you for that. It doesn't really matter where I'm at. And the fact that I'm on a laptop right now, you know, I got a backpack and a suitcase. And sometimes little groceries that I, you know, move from one location to the next. But I have a backpack and a suitcase. And in my backpack, I have an iPad, I have a MacBook Pro, 2 iPads, and I have my iPhone and my tech. And I've got a tripod. And you know what? If I do that, I can be anywhere. Now, what has that done for me? It's given me geographic freedom. I've got somewhat economic freedom. You know, my economic freedom is depends on how much I continue to market myself. Now, here's one of the secrets to that, okay? Client results is the new marketing. In other words, if I work with you, you hire me, I work with you, and you get like, you know, your business grows. Let's just say you hire me and you don't have a business at all. And I help you create a business that helps you create a moderate 5K a month. Okay? 5K a month. And you know, my program, my big program is 6 months of coaching for 10K with a guarantee you'll make your money back and double it. And if you don't, I'll keep working with you until you do. Well, there's something pretty magical. I have like a nearly 100% success rate with that because some people don't do it in 6 months. So I work with them a little longer. Okay. But they will make their money back and double it. But something happens is if I help you make, you hire me, I coach you, you start making some money, eventually it gets to 5K a month. That's 60 grand a year. Over 10 years, that's $600,000 of money that's going to flow into your life because you are willing to pay me 10 grand. Okay. Now so number one, you're going to be happy. You're going to give me referrals. You're going to give me a video testimonial, and you might even be a repeat customer and come back for more. Okay. So client results is the new marketing. When you're happy, you're going to share me what you're going to say. Oh, my life turned around when I hired this business coach because I wasn't making money, and now I'm making 5 grand a month, and he's helped me put the systems in place that these are skills I can use for the rest of my life. Okay. So is it worth, people look at 10 grand, they say that's a lot of money. They look with 10 grand with a guarantee, they say, well, it's not so bad. But then when they start to realize this can give me life skills that can make me $600,000 over the next 10 years, 10 grand is actually a small price to pay for turning around your life and making the changes that move you from a bad situation to a much better situation.
That's a beautiful explanation, Joe. Absolutely. I believe in pioneers today, or the ones who really want to make a difference, I believe the only measure is what are the client results. Everything else to me is pretty much irrelevant. And when you're able to create value, then there's no more questions asked. It's as simple as that. And I believe this is where you, Joe, and myself, we are well underpaid because of the value is astronomical. And
The
they,
value
they
you give, yeah.
they wouldn't see it coming.
But this is one of the reasons I think people struggle as an entrepreneur, because employee mentality is actually selfish. I go to my job, I show up, they give me a paycheck, I took care of me. Okay. But entrepreneur means you got to serve someone else. Okay. There's a Mormon scripture that says the natural man is the enemy of God. The natural man, is selfish. But he who is in service to his fellow man is in service of the Lord. Okay. And so we need to overcome our natural tendency to just be selfish, and we need to learn to actually serve others. And when we serve others and give to others and change other people's lives for the better, when we, you can't expect to receive if you're not willing to give. And it's a little bit unnatural to give more, like to pour it out, to pour it on into another human being. But I'll tell you what, hopefully I'm pouring it on for you in this interview right now, pouring it on because, you know what? Most of the people that watch this interview, they'll get some value from it and they'll go on and they'll say, you know what, that Joe guy was a good guest. I learned some stuff. But there's one or two people may see this interview and go, wow, I see where that guy's coming from. I need to work with that guy. I'll hire him. Why? Because I'm the kind of guy that pours it on. When somebody pays me 10 grand for 6 months, I pour my heart, my soul, my love, my expertise into that other human being. I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. And so, who do I pour my love into? I pour my love into my clients, and it's one of the greatest gifts I have is I'm 62 years old. I just saw Toby Keith, the musician, died today. And he was 62 years old. And I'm 62 years old. It's like, damn, I'm still here and he's not. He's a famous, country music singer. But it was kind of a little wake up call. But I'm just getting started with my life. I'm just getting started. But I do love pouring, when somebody pours good money into me, I pour my time, my effort, my energy, my expertise, my experience, my lessons I've learned through my failures as well as my successes. And one of the things I say, and I think this is really true, 6 months with Joe will take about 30 years off of your learning curve, so you can try and figure it out on your own in 30 years, or, you can hire me and I'll shortcut you, I'll save you a lot of time.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And I tend to say that as well around mindset, because if there is a shortcut, everyone is, let's say, competing against time. Guys, your life is limited, and wasting time means you're missing out opportunities, you are not taking on challenges, you're not seeing the opportunities that may be hanging around you, and you won't be able to pick the low-hanging fruit. I was thinking, what is the next jump? If you, like, for you, what is kicking you now? Like, what drives you each day other than, and I really love that, I really got that I believe life is about giving and giving more. What would be your next stage, your next level, if there is any?
I don't know if there is. I'm continually learning. I probably bought 3 or 4 programs in the last month. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly watching a video, or I just bought the Alaric Hex program on YouTube. Advertising mastery. I'm constantly learning. What else? I bought Todd Brown's stuff, and um, uh, you know, I'm constantly learning. I think I need to stay on top of my game. I need to be the best so that I can, continue to be the best for my clients. What's next is I wrote a book 10 years ago called Resurrecting America's Entrepreneurial Spirit. And it was self-published, and didn't do very much, but there's a literary agent that found my book and thought it was a great book. And he recently presented it to HarperCollins Publishing, and they have agreed to publish my book. And so I've got a big book deal pending right now. We're talking, high 6-figure kind of acquisition fee, and royalties and book tour, and those kinds of things. So I'm pretty pumped. And they're talking about making a documentary out of it. So I see in the next year probably is launching that book, relaunching that book. And we're still talking about we're finalizing the contract. It's in a final edit right now to make it a little bit better. And but when that contract comes through, first of all, I think that kind of money can actually, it's life-changing money, but I think that'll give me some freedom to, it takes a lot of pressure off. Yeah. I don't have pressure, but it takes pressure off. It's just, I've prayed about it. What do you do with a lump sum of money? Like, I don't want to mess this up. Okay. I don't want to mess this up. So my first thought is marching down to an investment, Fidelity Investments, a reputable investment house, and saying, okay, how do we manage these funds? I set up a separate corporation so the money doesn't come to me, it comes to a corporation. And I want to set it up so that it bears interest for the rest of my life, and gives me a nice safety net. It's life-changing kind of money. But above and beyond that, I just want to impact more people's lives. I know a lot of people are struggling in business. There's people out there that are, and I could say this about me, but I want this for other people watching this and listening to this. Okay. They're your people, your customers out there. There are people in there that are in pain that need your help. Okay. And I want to challenge you to have empathy. I want to challenge you to wear their moccasins. People out there are drowning with, I know for you, Andre, there are people out there that have problems that you can help them solve. They're drowning. And my question is are you willing to, they're drowning in the water, their hands sticking out. Are you willing to reach your hand out and lend them that helping hand to save their situation? Okay. Because you have greatness. People out there need you. And my challenge for you and everyone listening is, are you going to step up to your heroic nature? Are you going to have the courage to be that person that helps those people that want you and need you and they're starving for help? Are you going to be the one that reaches in that hand, has the courage to be the hero? Because if you do that, you'll be loved and you will be compensated, and you will be rewarded generously. When you're a massive contribution to the people you serve, when you're a massive contribution to the people that want and need and desire your help, there are people out there saying, you know what, I will, you do this for me and I'll do this for you. They'll pay your fees. They'll pay your fees.
Well, this was profound. Unlocking abundance is through contribution and giving
Yeah.
more and giving more to create a higher impact. And I think it's easy when it comes to unlocking this feeling of, and you want to share about that one. I tend to feel that my life and personal life is really not separated from my business or who I am as a business owner. And I think that's the mission phase. How do you see that? If you want to give us a
Yeah. I don't think of myself having a business life and a personal life. I just have a life. And those things need to work together. You know? Uh, I got to tell you something, and most women do not want to hear this, but I tell women, you can never be more than number 4 in my life. Okay. Number 1 is my relationship with God. Okay. Now I had a woman that I knew 10 years. I really adored her actually, but I had to kick her out of my life because she said, Joe, I'll let you have sex with me if you stop going to church and you stop worshiping God and you worship me instead. I was like, what a terrible thing to say. I've worked hard to have a good relationship with God. Okay. And for a woman to say, throw out God for me. So, number 1 is my relationship with God is more important than any woman. Number 2 is my health. I've had a lot of women, alcohol, drugs. I have a beautiful woman I love. She's in my heart. She's a real sweet girl, but she got addicted to crystal meth. And she tried to pull me into that world. And you know what? I had to move 1,000 miles away to just keep myself distanced from that toxic stuff. And you know what? I want to be healthy. I want to be in a nurturing relationship, not a relationship that toxifies me. And so my health is more important than any woman. And number 3 is my purpose. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to help people grow their businesses. And my mission, my business mission, first of all, it serves the world. It's meaningful. I'm helping the world be a better place. It's a legacy, okay? And you know what? I've had women say, Joe, blow off your clients. Let's be spontaneous. No, I keep my appointments, And by the way, my mission that serves other people, it's what brings money in and puts bread on the table. Okay, don't destroy my mission and my purpose and my business. And so if a woman can support me having a healthy relationship with my creator, number 1, and if she can be supportive of me being healthy and her being healthy, I think a mutually nurturing relationship is very important. And number 3 is if she can be supportive of the fact that I love what I do and I'm good at what I do, and it's the business that actually helps me be a better provider, don't destroy that. If you can support that and encourage that and be a true helpmate and be by my side as a true co-creator and a helper, then you're my woman, And I'm a single man. I don't have anybody right now. But if you're listening, ladies, that's what I'm looking for. And if you can't be that person, do not contact me. But if you can, I'm taking applications.
This is very eye-opening, and I tend to have interesting conversations with my clients, and I believe that the mission phase for men is, and if we're talking about values, and guys, this was about values, what's most important about Joe, I believe the right man that really attracts women, they need to follow this purpose they unlocked. And I believe that makes men, for the right women, so attractive that that relationship could really bloom. And if you are not ready as a woman to learn and to adjust for a man's purpose, probably you will lose him, because
Well,
there
she's
is a
not
way.
the right woman, you know.
What's that?
She's not the right woman, you know. If she can't support a man who lives a life of purpose. Now, most people aren't living a life of purpose. Matter of fact, I have a program here called Business Wisdom Quest. Like, what's the right business for you? I help people kind of find their business purpose. You know, that's what that program is all about. But um, you know, if you don't have a purpose, your purpose is to find your purpose. You know, I think, you know, I don't think we're here to eat and sleep and go to the bathroom and die. I think we're here to, you know, have a meaningful life and, leave a legacy, you know, after we're long gone. I think we want to be remembered for being a good influence on this planet. And
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
What? Where do we find you? If somebody is really here to follow you, find you, what's the website? What are your contact details? We will put everything under the video, but just share it now.
Yeah, employeeescapeplan.com is my primary website. And at the bottom of that website is a schedule, a calendar. And so I want to just invite you if you want to reach out, you know, if you want the help's available. You know, I don't want, if you're, you know, I'm not looking to just chit chat with people that are not interested in working with me. But if you're serious about building a better business, if you're serious about uh, uh, leaving your 9 to 5 job, or if you're already in business, if you're serious about taking that business to the next level, I invite you to go to Employee Escape Plan and grab a spot on my calendar, and let's get on a conversation to see if or how I can help you. Maybe I can help you, maybe I can't. You know, I don't work with everybody. I do turn people down. You know, I'll tell you, if you're not 10 out of 10 committed to creating a business that works, you know, if you're 9 out of 10 committed, okay, I won't take you as a client because I'm 10 out of 10 committed to your success. But if you're only 9 out of 10 committed to your own success, we got a problem. Why am I more committed to your success than you're committed to your success? Like, you ain't my client if you're not all in, you know, because entrepreneurship, it's not easy. It's very rewarding and very fulfilling when you get it right. But I don't work with toe dippers. If you're just dipping your toes in the water, I'm looking for people that are making waves. I'm looking for people that are, you know, willing to fully submerge and dive into the water. Okay. If you're just dipping your toes in the water, you're not serious. Let's not waste each other's time. But if you're serious about really, you know, going all in to figure out how to make a business work, or making your business work more solidly, more systematically, that's who I work with. Because look, I do guarantee results, but how can I guarantee results with people that are not committed? It doesn't work.
It's interesting. We keep coming back to decisions, commitment, finding the right mentor. There is no magic pill. You're listening to us. I wanted to ask you, as we are drawing to the end of this interview, what have I not asked, Joe, that you would have wanted to share? Some golden nugget that I forgot to dig out here.
Well, don't confuse activity with effectiveness. You know, so if we draw 3 circles side by side, the right circle is results. Everybody wants more results. Okay. But before you have results, there's activities. Activities drive results. Okay. Now, here's the problem. There are 2 kinds of activities: effective activities and ineffective activities. Okay. But one of the things that I've learned, I used to think that discipline was controlling our activities. But you know what? You know what comes before any activity? So on the right, you've got results. In the middle, you've got activities. And on the left, you've got thoughts. Okay? Your thoughts determine your activities, which drive results. And I used to think that discipline was thoughts, but true discipline is control, you know, true discipline is not controlling your activities. True discipline is controlling the thoughts that drive your activities. If you purify your thoughts, you'll purify your activities, which will purify your results.
That
Okay.
music, that is music to my ears, because I normally have a model that where the basic pillar is mindset. There is no two ways about setting you up for success. As Joe says, if you get that right and you have a mentor, then there's just certain things to do. And if those are
Can I add on to that? Can I add on to that?
Sure.
Okay, I was at an event called the Imagination IQ with a guy named Dan Fowler. He passed away a couple years ago, but he said something so profound. Okay, talking about your thoughts. He talked about, if you've seen the movie The Secret, the law of attraction, and they talk about putting your they talk about, if you want to attract, you need to be have gratitude, and you need to visualize. And they also talked about putting your intentions out into the universe. And he said something so good. He said that if you look at the word intentions, it's like inner tending, or inner healing. Okay. And what he said is, putting stuff out into the universe is no good if you're putting crap out into the universe. But if you purify, if you inner tend, if you purify the source, the core of who you are, of where you're coming from, and you put that out into the universe, that becomes super attractive. Okay. So when we talk about thoughts and activities leading to results, if you purify those in inner tending, if you purify those thoughts, you purify those inner tendings, you really come from a pure place, that'll drive pure actions, which leads to much more pure results. And so I thought that was an important distinction.
Joe, it was gold. It's a gold mine, and I will share with people to take a notepad and a pen to take notes through listening to this interview, because I believe you have given us the three secrets to a successful business. We've discussed so many things here. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much for being here. I love your message. I love your approach, and I love the wisdom that keeps just coming from you.
I love what I do, and I what, I hate seeing people struggle, and I hate seeing people fail, and that's why I created the work that I do. It's people don't need to keep failing and struggling, and for the right people, I can't help everybody, but I can help the right people, and the right people hear my message and they say, you know what, I could work with this guy, and Jim Rohn said something. He said, a good message told often enough will eventually land on good people.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your time. I love spending time with you. I would love to send more, but it's time now to move on to our next adventure. Thanks very much. See you soon.
All right. Thank you.